Ladies and gents, welcome back. Trudeau is under fire once again, this time as Canadians struggle to make ends meet with high inflation and lowering standard of living in this country, Canada. Taxpayers foot the bill for a lavish vacation. Revelations have come out about how the Prime Minister rang in his New Year in Jamaica. And, well, it's making waves across the media today. Here's Pierre Poilievre in the House of Parliament talking about just that.
Because of the galloping inflation this Prime Minister has caused, two-thirds of Canadians say they are cutting back on summer vacations, and one quarter say they've canceled their vacations altogether, but they'll still have to pay for someone else's vacation. $160,000 of taxpayer expenses for the Prime Minister to go down to the private villa, luxurious villa of a super-rich Trudeau Foundation donor, for which the nightly cost is as much as $9,000. How much did the Prime Minister pay for his accommodations at this luxurious villa?
Let me guess, he doesn't answer the question.
Mr. Speaker, our family have been good friends with this family for about 50 years, and as always, we work with the Ethics Commissioner to make sure that all rules are followed. But if Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition, was truly concerned about affordability for Canadians, he would be voting to support our budget that puts forward concrete measures to help Canadians from coast to coast to coast. He'd be fast-tracking the grocery rebate through this House to make sure that we can deliver as quickly as possible help to 11 million Canadians, and he wouldn't have stood to vote against the dental care supports that already helped about 250,000 young people right across this country.
Right. Why did you take a lavish vacation? Why? We're not supporting food stamps for the poor Canadians because of Trudeau's government. Anyway, here's the Post Millennial. Trudeau spent Christmas vacation at a luxury resort owned by Trudeau Foundation donor. The Trudeau family has known Peter Green family since 1970s, when the Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau stayed at the location. Both the Office of the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner, the Prime Minister's office, PMO, refused to say whether they knew the Green family is a foundation donor when they reportedly approved the trip for Trudeau, according to the Radio Canada, which is also CBC. The PMO would not comment on whether Trudeau paid for vacation for himself or stayed at taxpayer expense. But the tab for Canadians amounts to at least $162,000 when the cost of security and government employees assigned to the trip are factored in. The Green family sponsor, Mary Jean Mitchell Green Scholarship, which offers a bursary of up to $180,000 for 3 years of education. Now, National Post also have an article on this. Though the trip was approved by the Ethics Commissioner, it's not clear whether the Prime Minister's office and the Office of the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner were aware of the donor's relationship at the time. To this, Trudeau had this response.
I guess, Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition struggles with the concept of friendship, Mr. Speaker. My father was godfather to one of their kids. Their father was godfather to one of my brothers. This is 50 years of friendship, Mr. Speaker. But, of course, we worked with the Ethics Commissioners to make sure all the rules were followed. But
50 years of nepotism. We got it. We totally got it. But, okay, so you worked with the Ethics Commissioner. How's that Ethics Commissioner office doing? Oh, what's this? Minister's sister-in-law steps down as ethics watchdog after committee launches probe. What? Ottawa, the sister-in-law of a Liberal cabinet minister, has stepped down as the interim ethics commissioner a day after the House of Commons committee agreed to investigate her appointment. Oh boy. Martine Richard, who has worked in the commissioner's office as a lawyer since 2013, took over the top job last month for a 6-month stint. Richard is the sister-in-law of Intergovernmental Affairs Minister Dominic LeBlanc, who was found to have breached conflict of interest rules in 2018 for approving a lucrative fishing license for a family member while he was fisheries minister. Oh my God, the corruption runs so deep with these ones. A statement from the Office of the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner says Richard will stay on as a lawyer while they search for a new leader. Continues a spokeswoman. Says neither the office nor Richard will respond to further questions on the subject. I totally wonder why. Now, emails show. Now we're talking about another one. Back when the Prime Minister went to visit the Queen's funeral in England, email shows Trudeau minister's office quashed details of a $6,000 a night London suite that he stayed at. Of course, suggesting that, hey, this is all about security and whatnot. Anything in the emails that suggest who stayed in the luxury Corinthia River Suite were redacted. Oh boy, let's not give any of that information out. Now, the Canadian Taxpayer Federation with Terrazzano doing a great job over here, had an interview recently where they got into this.
The latest claim of the day from the Trudeau government, from the Prime Minister's office is, $6,000 per night in a hotel room. We had to spend that money because security costs. What do you say about that?
Yeah, so this is the latest line from the PMO that it's been taking to try and defend itself. But I've got to be honest, that argument doesn't really pass scrutiny. So there's a couple of things here. First things, $6,000 a night is quite expensive for a hotel. And I can guarantee you that most Canadian taxpayers have never stayed anywhere that fancy or that cost that much.
Hold on, Ryan, did you say quite expensive? Is that not the understatement of the decade?
Yeah, I might have undersold that one a little bit. It's very expensive, and it's worth pointing out that other members of the Canadian delegation, which includes Governor General Mary Simon, there was 2 past Governor Generals, 4 ex-prime ministers, they were all put up, at very classy but less costly digs. Other 5-star hotels in the area, including the Four Seasons and the Shangri-La, all had rooms available for significantly less money. So no one here is suggesting that the PM had to stay at the Motel 6 out by the airport. There was other options. But now the PMO...
Poor Prime Minister might have had to stay at the Shangri-La. Jeez, this is where we're at now with Canada, honestly. Anyway, he continues.
...was blaming the RCMP and saying, we needed multi-rooms in the suite to address security concerns. And that's why they had to go with this $6,000 per night room. But the follow-up question is obvious, right? So if that were true, why did the government go to such great lengths to hide the truth from Canadians for so long, right? Why wouldn't Trudeau have just come out and said it was because of security costs right away and immediately put this story to bed 5 months ago?
Amazing. And I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can check out that story in its entirety. But absolutely, like the Shangri-La can't put up wealthy country leaders from Canada or any other place in the world, as if they cannot have security details themselves in the Shangri-La, for sure. For sure. Now, Prime Minister Trudeau, in a recent tweet, was talking about how his government has done so well for the impoverished Canadians here in Canada.
Since 2015, 2.7 million Canadians have been lifted out of poverty, 500,000 of them kids.
Oh, okay. But 11 million, apparently, according to his government, are in poverty now and going to the food banks. Marty Up North putting this out there. Until recently, Liberals defined progress as moving from plastic straws wrapped in paper to paper straws wrapped in plastic. Now Liberals define progress as giving food stamps to Canadians under this government. 1 in 4 families have turned to food banks. This is absolutely the way Canada has been going. Canadians are not being lifted out of poverty. Canadians are learning what hungry feels like. This is what Trudeau's Canada looks like. And Trudeau, honestly, has been completely torching the Liberal name, despite if you're a fan of the Liberals or not. There's not going to be many fans moving forward. Adam Van Coverdeen putting out there. Despite Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives voting against the budget, I'm happy to report our new grocery benefit will be fast-tracked and eligible for Canadian families will receive up to $467 with help from the bill. Okay, so you're gonna get a one-time check from the government while your taxes all go up. The cost of living goes up. Groceries are getting more expensive. Energy is more expensive than ever thanks to the new taxes on carbon. But hey, here's a check that may or may not come because government workers are on strike. Anyway, leave a little comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole situation. It's unbelievable how just the audacity of them. Audacity. It's a bit of a Marie Antoinette sort of scenario. Let them eat cake. The plebs can just do what they do. We're going to go and on your dime have expensive, lavish vacations. Unbelievable. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.